What's going on, guys? Chew here, bringing you another review on My Dress Up Darling. And I gotta say, this episode was funny from beginning to end. Love the misunderstanding, the famous misunderstanding that a lot of us have read in the manga, and we're looking forward to in this chapter, or this episode, excuse me. But overall, I enjoyed this one. So, guys, without further ado, let's get to it. So we start this episode with the phone call with Juju and Marin. Now I gotta say, I was expecting it to be a little bit more drawn out, but it wasn't. I love what they did with this episode because we see that Juju initially is like, nope, not doing it. But in the span of like, I guess a minute and a half, we see not only Shinju, her sister, and Juju having different facial expressions. I love that they took their time to where like it wasn't drawn out. It was just perfect. It was like the instant regret. Because Shinju overhears the conversation or asks what happened, and she says Marin called and she wanted to do a group cosplay about Coffin. And Shinju is, of course, a huge fan of horror, and she's really wanting her sister to do this, but she's not on board. She's not wanting to do it, and then she's like, oh, okay, well, sorry, I thought you were going to do it. And just the regret in Juju's face, and just turning it around and just calling her back, and just seeing her after the opening song, her around with everybody else, and she agrees, but she is hesitant. She doesn't really want to do it. She's having a tough time with it, and we don't notice it very much. She does walk out of the room, but she's struggling, and I hate that it's something that we're not going to talk about in this episode, but I think that in the next one we'll definitely get more explanation, especially also with Akira. Like, we see that she's also been very uncomfortable for the last episode whenever Marin's around, and there's a reason for it. And I love how we see our other Chad guy, decides to go and say he's going to go for a smoke, and he starts talking to Akira. And Akira's like, I just don't really like Marin. I don't want to be around her. And what sucks is that we have Gojo listening in, not intentionally, accidentally. And Akira, you could see that she instantly regrets saying anything out loud, but she says that she's going to tell them the reason why. Now, we don't know what it is, we don't see it, but I definitely would like to know what exactly that is, why Akira's very against modding. And I love it because they also, like, as they were all in the same room, we see that they extend the invitation to Shinju to also be part of the cosplay. Something that she was looking forward to, like to be able to do it again. She is nervous. She's only done it once. And I thought, hey, this was a great opportunity for her. So I'm glad that she's taking it. And then we also see the reaction from the other girls that were already there with their friends with modding to hear that she had done the cosplay that she did at school that won them all. And she didn't have any photos and whatnot, but it was still funny to see them like really wanting to see all these pictures. And I think they have a huge, like, I guess, I guess a tendency to like cross-dressing, whether it be man woman or woman to man, whatever, but they just really like it, which I think is fun. But Gojo kind of wants to know more about the whole coffin thing. He's not very familiar, and so he actually decides that he's gonna go over to Marin's house. She's gonna let him borrow the game and understand more about it. And she's like, oh, look, it's late. And he's like, oh man, it is late. He's like, he wants to leave, he wants to go home, but he cannot because the trains have been basically delayed. And that's something I worry about with Japan. If I were to go, I feel like the delaying of trains is a real thing. And I mean, I understand, like, even here in the US, it's kind of wild, especially in the northern states. And the one I came from, the subway is a popular thing to go through. But now that I'm in the South, the trains aren't really a thing, and subways aren't either. So I mean, I can only imagine, it's just kind of tough. But I do think that it was nice that she offered it to him to stay, but he's hesitating. He's like really like nervous about it. And so, she knows that she's doing this out of kindness, and that's what he realizes. And they go to the store, and he's like, wait a minute, but if I stay up all night, technically I didn't sleep over. And I love the misunderstanding here because she thinks that when he's in the section where there's condoms, that he's going to grab some, and she's getting all flustered. And that to me is the best part, and I cannot wait for the next episode. So guys, that's it for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, stay safe, and I'll catch you later.